Hey, this is Chandler from Melda Production, and today I thought I'd go over the high gain amps in MTurboamp. As before with the clean and the crunch amps, I'm not going to show all the high gain amps. I'm just going to show the ones that, one, I made because I know the most about them, and the ones I like. So it's going to be a limited selection, but hopefully this gives you an idea of what MTurboamp can do. But of course, check it out yourself so you can, get some hands-on experience. I'm using MTurbo Cabinet, or M Cabinet, I should say, not Turbo Cabinet, M Cabinet. And I'm using these settings for it. I'm going to keep this the same through all of it, just so you can hear the difference between all of the different amps. You might think like, oh, this sounds good, or maybe think, this doesn't sound good. So try it yourself and use your own impulse response, or try some other cabinets in MTurbo Cabinet to see which one you like. And finally, I have MCharm Verb. I'm just adding a little bit of reverb, and I'm using DI Fix to boost the signal a little bit and, add some, impedance improvement there. So let's get started. I'm going to use the Venus amp here to start. So this is a nice amp. I use this mostly for leads, but you could use it for rhythms too. But I think it probably needs like a booster pedal or something before it. So here's what it sounds like on a lead sound. Has the red and pink setting. The pink setting is more like a crunch or low gain sound. The red setting is high gain, obviously. Let's put it down here with some rhythm sounds. And I'm going to adjust these, and I'll show you the body and the face, etc. The body and the face setting is going to really push the mids forward. It's going to put it in your face, as it says face. And the tightness setting is going to make the bottom a little bit less sloppy. So I'm going to go through it, and I'm going to adjust the control so you can hear what it does. Not the best playing there, I apologize for that, but hopefully you can hear what all of these do. So if you want a more in-your-face sound, I would suggest turning the tightness up and changing it to face mode. For leads, I actually prefer with both of these off because I think I want a little bit smoother sound, but that's me. If you want to cut through more, turn on the face setting. Next, let's go to the Vulcan amp. I'll go through it here. These, I probably want to turn it to fire, but you don't have to. And I want to turn on metallurgy and probably turn up the tightness, but I'll let you hear those. Now, this amp sounds all right, but this is one that I really think needs a boost to make it sound better. I think it sounds pretty good for leads, though. Let me turn some of this off so you can hear this and just hear it on a lead sound. I think it has a good amount of cut. It isn't quite as dark as Venus, and I think it just sounds good for that. So if you really want to use it for like a metal rhythm, I would suggest a boost for it, but you don't have to. The tightness control will tighten it enough depending on what you're trying to do. So set these back. Next, we have the Kensington. I showed you this one before. As I said, this one has the Z control all the way down. I would probably try to move it up because that's where I have most of the other amps set. But this one is still very, very mid-focused. I'll let you hear what it sounds like through the lead first. So this sounds like it has like a boost on it already. So it's already like fairly tight. It's very mid-focused. So if that's what you want as kind of a complement to other ones for your rhythm sounds, or if you want like a cutting lead, this one is really good for that. Let's move it back here. So this can work well for that. Actually, let me show you the gain. Let me show you the gain range here. So that's the deal with Kensington. Let me move this back. Let's go to Chromium. This is, I think, the first high gain amp I made. Has a lots of different controls here. Has the high cut control if it's getting too fizzy on top. Has the Z control all the way down. I'm going to move that up so you can hear that. Actually, I'll move it up as it's playing. So you can hear all the controls here. I think the tightness control in here works really well. It goes up fairly high, so you can adjust that however you want to clean up your bottom end. And if you think, it's tight, but now there's not enough bass, you can adjust the bass, or you can use the depth control to add more bottom end there if that's what you want. So you have a lot of control over the various sounds with this. I'll move that back, and let's go to the next one. Next we have Phobos. This one is one I made to sound more modern, I think. Maybe this doesn't sound like a real amp. I don't know, maybe it does. But this sounds like an amp with a boost. That's the kind of sound I wanted. So this can get, the sound of maybe something more modern or something tighter without having to even go and use a boost or anything else to adjust it. So it has 3 settings: Terror, Dread, and Worry. Terror is the most forward in your face. Dread is a little bit smoother. I would use this maybe for leads, and Worry is like a lower gain, like a medium gain sound. So let's hear it. So as you can hear, there's lots of range in there. The tightness control also is very, very useful for this to tighten things up. And I'll let you hear the lead, and let me switch between the different modes here, between Terror and Dread, so you can hear it. So if you're looking for a smoother lead, start with the Dread. If you want something to really cut through, maybe you have a dense mix, use the Terror setting. So that's the Phobos amp. And the last one here is Mithras. This one is voiced a little bit similarly to the Phobos, but as you see here, this has a bass, low mids, high mids, treble, and presence control. So you can really get a little bit more versatility out of this one, I think. So let's play it, and I'll mess with these. This one also is made to be used just as is. You don't really need a boost with it if you don't want. The sickle setting will be lower gain. Here, I'll let you hear it on a lead sound. This one of my favorites, I think, just because it has so much versatility. You can adjust the low mids and high mids to create all sorts of new and interesting sounds with this. Now, let's go through these, and I'm going to compare them back and forth while this is playing, which, to be honest, is not really fair, because some of these, I think, like Vulcan or Venus, probably need a boost to sound good, whereas other ones don't, like these two. But I'll play them first, and then I'll actually show you what they sound like with a boost. So let's compare them. Here we go. Now, I didn't really mess with any of the tone controls, so to be honest, I don't think any of these sound good with these settings. I would suggest using your own IR and actually moving the bass, low mids, high mids, etc. That will make it sound better, but I wanted to do this so you could hear the basic tone of each of these. Some of these have tone controls that can really do a lot. Some of them are not as versatile. Now, let me use a boost here and let you hear what that sounds like. So I have here another one, and I have this green howler. I'll use this. Turn the gain way down. I can turn the tone up a little bit, and I'll let you hear what it sounds like before and after. Now, let's move it to here. Now, of course, let me let you hear with these amps too, Vulcan. And let me see, one more Chromium. So I would recommend putting a boost in front of those amps. I'll go through these. Another one you can use if you don't like that one, try this MD1. I think this will do the same thing. I'd probably turn the gain down, maybe the tone up the same way. But one I made specifically for this is the definition booster. This one doesn't have a gain control, so you're not going to get a lot of distortion out of this, but as you saw in the other ones, I turned the gain down anyway, so this one doesn't even have a gain control. It does have a volume control, so if you want to put a little bit more boost, just turn up the volume. And more importantly, it has a tone control and a tightness control. The tightness control will be just like on the amps. It's going to cut off that bottom end going into the amp, so it's just going to make it sound tighter and better. But unlike the Green Howler, the MD1, you can actually control the tightness. And you can also adjust the tone. So let's hear it here. I'll do it off and then on and adjust some of the controls. So you can hear the difference there, I believe. And let's try it on this one. There you go. Now, this may not be your cup of tea. Like, I don't like that at all. So just don't use it. It makes it easier. And of course, with the tightness setting, you can adjust it however you like. You think that's way too bright, turn the tone down. Too tight, turn that down. And of course, you still have the amp. You can mess with all these tone controls. So if you feel like, it's a little bit too in your face, turn down the presence, etc. But that's how I would use some of these high gain amps. As I said before, the Venus is maybe my favorite for lead sounds, and the ones I would use for lead are probably different than the ones I would use for rhythm, but of course you have plenty of variety. Now, if you look in here and you're like, where is all of this stuff? If you go to amp here and highlight this, turn off the bass, make sure the amp's highlighted, and then you can go to low, medium, or high, like that. So I have high or ultra. And you can see which amps are there. And the same thing, you're probably wondering, like this one, how'd you get this pedal? Do the exact same thing. Just go to pedal, and then you can look through these, or you can sort it by like low, medium, high, or ultra. So you have all those things at your disposal. The pedals are already in there, and you can play around with those and see which ones you like. If you think a lack of high gain, let me know. Leave those in the comments below, and I might make another high gain amp. So I don't know, is this enough, or should there be more? That's up to you. I'll do another one if people are requesting that. But anyways, if you like this, give me a thumbs up, leave any questions or comments down below, and check out all the other plugins at meldaproduction.com. Till next time, see you.